Welcome back to the Mookie Chilson channel, and you are looking live at another cue card. This is an outline, a rundown of what we're going to talk about in the order in which we're going to discuss it. And this is a very special episode here at Mookie Chilson World Headquarters. This is the Mookie of the Year episode. It has been one calendar year since I first took digital video and applied it to YouTube.com technology and sent off my stuff into the internets for all to see. And it's been one of the most profoundly gratifying and personally fulfilling things I have done as an adult. Just the ability to express myself in a healthy way about something I care about and enjoy has just been awesome. And not only that, meeting all of you in different ways, from live stream chats to comment section back and forth to text message discussions to phone calls to meetings in person, which I know will only continue and grow and keep happening in a higher rate of frequency in the years to come. It has been humbling, and I am so appreciative and can't thank all of you enough for A, for participating by watching, and B, for allowing me to participate and accepting me and my nonsense into this world. It's just been great, and I am excited to keep going and continue. So no balloon drops, but there are fun pickups and interesting things to be had in this episode, including autographs from Mike the Vintage Composer. There was a Thunderstruck meeting in Garfield with Sammy Thunder and my buddy Pete. My friend Theo, the Clemente collector, has lost a major bet, and I will show you what he had to surrender to his pal Mookie because of the bet that he came for the king and he missed. So, well, I'll show you that. My pal Greg from Midlife Cards, who comes through in a million different ways all the time, has done it again through an incredible series of events at Strongsville. And I will show you what Greg has sent me, which I'm profoundly grateful for. And then at the end, we've got a little Mookie Minute. And this is a distillation of sort of the way I think about collecting after a year of doing this in public on YouTube, and something I'm calling evidence of prior ownership. And I have a pickup of a vintage Jackie Robinson 1-of-1 card that I want to go through and explain to you why it's so freaking awesome and why I love it so much. But let's begin with the Vintage Composer. Now, Mike the Vintage Composer, I'm sure many of you are subscribed, and if you're not, you should. He has great content, and he gives great Mets autograph cards, including Sid Fernandez on this 1992 Upper Deck card, which is great. A great pitcher for the Mets, starting pitcher. Great shortstop for the Mets, Kevin Elster there, signed up along the side. He was the 86 backup shortstop for that championship team, so that's really cool. And then you got Greg Jeffries, who was a hobby darling for a few years there. There was no hotter name or bigger name than Greg Jeffries in New York and in Beckett magazines and collectors' hopes and dreams for a while there. And I wanted a Greg Jeffries autograph, so when Mike handed me this, the smile was a mile wide on my face. So thank you, Mike. This is really great. And I hope people will go check out what Mike is producing, because he's got great stuff. Now let's go. I was thunderstruck yesterday at the Garfield card show when I met Sammy Thunder, and he handed me this. A four collectors original card. There they are, all of them there. Sammy said he would sign this, but he didn't have a Sharpie. And I just was so appreciative that he handed out this card to me. What I didn't realize was it was going to be $75. No, Sammy handed me this card raw, and I said, "You got a holder for it?" And he gave me this, and it had a price sticker on it. So Sammy did not charge me anything, and I will get the autographs at some point. So that was great. That was the first part of Sammy's meeting. Now, Sammy was also working on a deal that day, and he has since come out and shared what that deal is. He got a 1968 Venezuela Tom Seaver, and he was $25 apart from the dealer, who was another friend of ours, the Fish family. And I said, buddy, if you just do the deal, I will spend $25 at your table. Don't worry. And so I did. He did the deal, and I came over and spent $25. I spent $30 at his table on these pickups. And this is the 1980 Nolan Ryan BK Have It Your Way, which I think is just a beautiful, cool card. And after I eat my Burger King, I hit the Twinkies. And there you go. 1977 or 78 Hostess Nolan Ryan, a really cool card. And then finally, this is a 1969 Rookie Year Reggie Jackson Milton Bradley game card, which I have seen at Sammy's table before, but I don't think I ever quite realized that it was a pinhole card. Maybe I did, but look at that. So he's going to go on the Pinhole Holy Grail Wall of Fame. A Rookie Year Reggie Jackson, which is just very cool. So Sammy was thunderstruck. Now let's go to Theo, the Clemente collector, and his major loss and a major bet. The Mets are playing the Pirates, and Sammy texted me and said, I think the Pirates are going to win tonight. You want to bet? And I said, absolutely. And so we picked what would be what the winner would get in the bet. And I sent him a link to an SGC 8 Bobby Bania 87 Topps card that was in SGC 8, and it cost like $12 or $13, maybe $15. I forget what it was. And Theo said, yep, you're on. He said the winner will Venmo the other guy, or the loser will Venmo the other guy the money. And of course, we all know the Mets swept the Pirates that week. Theo was crying in his what does he drink? The Iron City beer. And he Venmoed me the money. And I said, buddy, you didn't even have to do that. Don't worry about it. But he did anyway. And then I had to go take the plunge and buy this card. And I thought, wait a minute, I won. Why am I buying a Bania Pirates card? Why shouldn't I buy a Bania Mets card? And so I took Sammy's funds, and he doesn't even know this, so this is a reveal. And I got this sucker. A 1994 Topps Finest Refractor, Bobby Bania. And this one cost, I think it cost $20, so I kicked in a little of my own money, but it's got that Looney Tunes background, that sort of Space Jam movie poster background for you. But Bobby Bo in his Mets uniform, he's still got his Mets contract. He might as well be wearing his Mets uniform. And wait until you see who graded this sucker, Theo. How about Diamond Service Grading? So I think it's a legit card. I don't know. But this is the bounty that I won from Theo, the Clemente collector, in our big wager. So thank you, Theo. This will be in a place of honor in the museum. Okay, so now let's turn to my man Greg from Midlife Cards, who, as I said earlier, has come through again. He made a last-minute decision to go to Strongsville, Ohio for that incredible meetup and YouTube event there with vintage cards. He also made a last-minute recruitment effort to get his old pal Mookie to get in the car and drive out to Ohio, which I could not do, but he was gracious enough to FaceTime me and fill me in on what was going on there. And one of the things I mentioned to Greg when I talked to him was I saw in somebody's video this dealer had this awesome looking Gil Hodges rookie that was $300 in an SGC 3. And he said, you want me to, I'll go over and look at it. I'll send you pictures. And so he did. He sent me pictures. And he said he would make an offer for me if I wanted. And I told him, offer the guy $250. And Greg offered him $250. And the guy said, nope, $270. And so he took 10% off the top, which was a really good deal, I think. And it's a beautiful card. And Greg sealed the deal. So not only did I get this card, I got it negotiated by Greg from Midlife Cards, my buddy. And he said he would just ship it to me. He had a care package he was going to send me anyway. And so he said he would put it right alongside with that. So this card is going to go in the museum. And when I opened the package that Greg sent me afterwards, it came with one of the nicest notes I think you'll ever see that I'm not going to go through now, but it touched my heart. Let's put it that way. And he also sent me some awesome cards. Now, this is a card he had told me about because this is one of those like scratch-offs, like pick a game, and if Pete Alonzo hits a home run, you get some kind of short printed variation of it or a serial numbered variation. So Greg had this card, scratched it off, gave me the code, and me and son of Mookie put it in, hoping Pete Alonzo would hit a dinger that day. He did not, but we still got this card, which is really cool and is going in son of Mookie's collection. He also sent me some great 88 Fleer Metsies. You got your kid, Gary Carter. You got your Hojo, number 20, my man, who I met a couple months ago. And you got my man, Mookie, who I met a couple months ago as well. So there you go, it's an 88 Fleer. And those will go in my Mets album. You got a David Peterson, who is rehabbing and coming back autograph. This is son of Mookie. He's going to get this one for sure. So that's really cool. He gave me one of those cards that he had profiled in one of his videos as one, which of these cards should every collector have of a certain decade. This Ken Griffey Jr. Zenith card is just gorgeous, so cool. Look at the ball there flying off of his bat in that amazing image. So Greg sent me that, and that is really cool. He sent me a Roger Clemens rookie card, which is great. Roger Clemens, one of the great pitchers of all time. I'm thrilled to have this. This is the second Roger Clemens rookie card that Greg has sent to me, and I'm thrilled to own it, and that is not an ironic statement, and he knows why. He also sent me this. Look at this. Gene Woodling and Casey Stengel, a card I did not have, the Veteran Masters. So these are two Mets greats who were former Yankee greats. A very beautiful 63 Topps card, number 43 in your set. This one, which I cannot get enough of, you got Tom Terrific and Nolan Ryan, the strikeout leaders, 1977 Topps. Beautiful card. Two killer pitchers, two of my favorites. Beautiful. He sent me this, buddy. A 1971 Jumbo Tom Seaver that he picked up in Strongsville. He said he thought of me, and he picked it up, and he sent it along. How cool is that? I do not have that. That will go in my personal collection. And then this was the last card he sent me. And when I opened the packet, I could not believe that this card was in there. I had just been bidding on this card in a Facebook vintage group comment section. And, I don't know if you've ever done that before, but it's so easy to get lost and forget about these things. And this thing went for way too much money, and I returned to it late, and I wasn't going to bid. But I really wanted this Red Man Larry Doby. And Greg got it and sent it to me. He did not know about that story. He just knew I was into Larry Doby, knew I would appreciate this card. And boy, was he right. And so thank you, my friend. This means more to me than I think you might know. So I really appreciate that. And so we'll end and finish up with a little Mookie Minute in what I'm calling evidence of prior ownership, and why that's important to me when I collect cards. And we'll actually end at the beginning where this channel started in the very first video, 70-something videos ago. And this is the 1954 Topps Willie Mays that I picked up that started off the Holy Grail Wall of Fame. And you can see there, it is highly damaged, it is highly worn, and it has been highly loved. And the evidence of that love comes through these pinholes. The young person who had this up on their wall really wanted it displayed and out there. This is not my father's card, but I imagine this is the kind of card my father would have had. My father was a Giants fan who grew up in New York. And so this card sort of helps me connect to my dad, helps me connect back to a different time when collecting was a little bit different. But for the love of the game and the love of the sport was much different. The way we treated these cards was. But this is evidence of prior ownership, and it means a lot to me. And there's pristine versions of this card that could not possibly mean as much as what this card means and what it displays for me. The same way, different cards in the Pinhole Holy Grail Wall of Fame mean different things. You know, this one's got a hole above the N in Clemente there, and a couple of thumbtack holes up there. And this was the last card in Roberto Clemente's run, and he had died when this card came out. And so the owner of this card knew that Roberto Clemente was gone and wanted to be connected to maybe their favorite player, or maybe he was just an icon and a legend that they loved. And so they wanted Roberto Clemente up on the wall. And I love this card. There's just not a Gem Mint 10 version of this that I would trade for this card. There's just so much more meaning and depth and dimension to this card, and the damage it took because of the love that it represented, and probably the pain that it represented. So I love this card. And the same way I love this card, where this is a full retrospective, and you've probably seen this card before if you're watching this channel now. This is my 1949 Bowman Jackie Robinson rookie card. And this card, again, we all know that Jackie Robinson changed the country for the better when he integrated sports in 1947, when he integrated baseball. This card, along with the 48-49 Leaf, integrated the collections of the young kids who took them out of packs. Before those cards, they had segregated collections. There were more than likely no African-American ball players in their collections. There just couldn't have been. There weren't cards. And so this one came out of a pack, and some youngster loved it so much that they decided they were going to pin it up to their wall and hold it close and love it. And again, there are cards graded higher than this, but they just can't get more meaningful than this to me. I love this card. And so when I found the next card I'm going to show you, it just was a great bookend, and a great bookend for my first year on YouTube here. This is Jackie Robinson's last card, and this is a 1956 Topps. Jackie Robinson was in a decline of his career, but the kid who got this card loved it, absolutely loved it. Not only did they love it, they decided they were going to turn it into a sort of Jackie Robinson notebook. They were going to keep score here. Well, they also put Johnny Padres' name on his back, which was nice. They noted that Jackie Robinson retired in 1956. They took out some tape when Jackie made the Hall of Fame. 6 years after this card came out, they put this tape on there and noted that Jackie made the Hall of Fame on January 23rd, 1962. His number 42, which you can't see on the card, on the front face of the card. That number 42 is burned into our collective consciousness as Jackie's number, and that's what this person, this young kid, decided they were going to put on the front of this card to make sure we knew. The other thing I noticed about this card is I thought when I first got it, it might have been a pinhole card, but there's a ridge there, and I don't know if you can tell. There's a ridge there and a little bit of a loop there and some paper loss there. And so what this card had, this card was paper clipped to an album maybe. Can you see that? So whoever was storing this was keeping this somewhere paper clipped, probably in an album. And I also love this card because, Jackie, this didn't have to be Jackie's last year. Jackie was traded to the New York Giants back in 1956. In fact, in the year that Jackie was playing his last year in Major League Baseball, I'm going to take you to the Times machine here. This Mookie Minute's going to go on for a little bit. Can you see that there? Trade of Robinson to Giants is possible. And I'm going to read you this card, this little article here. The trade winds are blowing in odd directions. Nobody can be quoted, but baseball breezes may blow Jackie Robinson into the Polo Grounds. There are indications that the Giants are interested in acquiring Robinson as a gate attraction and also as a highly usable right-handed hitting outfielder and third baseman. The gate lure would be considerable, with Robinson, never anything but a Dodger, playing and hitting against Sal Maglie, a former Giant. Other trade winds may be stirred when Buzzy Bavasi, the Dodgers general manager, arrives here and gets into conversation with Frank Lane, the Cardinals head man. Bavasi is interested in Tom Puholsky, a right-handed pitcher. Lane is a quick trader, and if Bavasi had a proposition that appealed to Lane, the deal would be on. One guess is that Rocky Nelson, a hard-hitting first baseman from Montreal, will be offered to the Cardinals. So basically, here's Buzz Bavasi, who nobody can be quoted, but basically this is Buzz Bavasi saying to the Giants, you better make a deal for Jackie or we're going to trade him to the Cardinals. So this was June 7th of 1956. And so that hung over Jackie and hung over the Dodgers in Brooklyn until finally Jackie was indeed traded to the Giants. And you can see here, I'll move this over. Dodgers trade Robinson to the Giants for Hurler and cash. This is Jackie in his home with his son and Rachel Robinson, who was just out at Citi Field the other day at the Mets game. And there's Jackie's son holding a sign that says Dodgers crossed out and Giants below it, and a New York Giants pennant in his hand. Jackie was ostensibly going to be a New York Giant, and this rocked the world in New York City, in National League New York City, particularly if you keep reading. Brooklyn fans rocked by trade. You see this little article here? This is in the New York Times, and I'll read a little bit of this to you. Brooklyn fans rocked by trade. Giant supporters envision stream of enemies. First DeRocher, now Robinson. This is one of the fans. I'm shocked to the core. This is like selling the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Jackie Robinson is a synonym for Dodgers. They can't do this to us, says this Brooklyn fan reacting to the trade. But they did do that to them. And Jackie, what they didn't know is that Jackie wasn't going to eventually take the trade. Eventually he ended up declining the trade and retiring. And here we have it in the New York Times there. Robinson to retire. Giants void the trade. And so Jackie Robinson from December, From December 14th to January 6, 1957, was a New York Giant. And this card, again, depicting that Jackie Robinson retired in 1956. But if you look at the back of this card, the young person who had this card noted first base, New York Giants. Can you see it there? So this was a traded card. So between December of 1956 and January of 1957, this person crossed out that Brooklyn Dodgers, wrote first base, New York Giants. I wonder if this was a Giants fan who was eager to see Jackie coming over, if this was just somebody who kept track of everything and changed all their cards. But I just love this card. So this is a Jackie Robinson traded card, a New York Giants Jackie Robinson card. This is a 1 of 1 in my collection. And it is what I like to call evidence of prior ownership that you can't beat. And so here he is. There's Jackie. Jackie's first card, Jackie's last card. And let's put, there's my man Gil Hodges from my man Greg. There they are. So anyway, that will wrap it up for my first year on YouTube. Thank you all again. Incredibly humbling. I'm thrilled that if you stuck through this, and if you didn't, I don't blame you. I appreciate it, and I'll try and do better next time. That's it. Thank you.